how's the feeling before the big game against the Chennai Super Kings?
No, it's been very good. It's a very positive last 2 days. The mood is very good. There's good intensity. We've had good nets and good fielding sessions. So I'm very comfortable at the moment.
So was there a specialist plan? As in yesterday I saw that you were concentrating more on the nets, whereas today there was a big fielding drill.
Well, I try split it up a lot. The intensity in the fielding was good today. And it was for about 30 to 40 minutes. Yesterday it's more skill work and concentrate of maybe pushing the guys in nets and using the energy up. Today it's just about sharpness and getting the guys ready for tomorrow.
What do you see as Chennai Super Kings' biggest strength?
Well, the strength is obviously Ashwin and Bollinger, and they've got quite a deep batting order and some match winners in the batting. So we need to be in top of our game when we play them.
So what will be our strategy? Are we going to change the side a little bit to counter that?
Yeah, there's going to be some surprises in the batting order. It will be seen when the game starts.
Okay. So we're looking forward to a great game, Ray, and I hope we come up trumps again.
Fantastic. It's good to have Dan and Zach back, which obviously is going to strengthen our side as well as put us back into winning ways.
Would you, before signing off, would you be able to tell us who's going to captain tomorrow?
I'm sure Dan will.
Okay.
We'll have to ask the coach.
Okay. We'll see you after the game then, Ray.
Thank you.
Thanks, bye. So, Jono, how's practice been going in the lead up to the game against Chennai?
Yeah, it's been going really well. Intensity has been at a really high level. Boys are really focused on tomorrow's game and excited at the same time at potentially finishing in first place on top of the log and going into the semis with a lot of confidence.
So practice yesterday, I noticed that some of the bowlers bowled very long spells. Was there any plan?
A lot of the net bowlers that we obviously bring in bowled for a fairly long time, and some of our fringe players, our spinners, bowled for about an hour. But really the playing sort of 11 in the squad of 14 or 15 bowled their round amount of balls and no extra.
So typically, how much a bowler who's going to play in the 11, how much bowling would you have him do?
Probably 4 overs of high intensity, sort of like a match situation, simulate that.
And
simulate a match, and
that doesn't matter if it's a spinner or a fast bowler.
Spinners will probably bowl more, obviously, because their action and the pure fact that they're spinning allows them to bowl longer spells rather than a Zach or a Mutton or a Aravind. But really those bowlers need a bowl as much as they feel is needed to be able to execute their skill in the game.
What about the fielding drill? Is there a specific set format in which you approach the fielding drill?
The fielding you try and do it's got to be high intensity, number one, but really inner ring fielding and outer ring fielding, and then some obviously catching, close inner ring, and high catching. So that's really the format and the structure of the fielding, but the key of it is the intensity that it's done at. A guy can catch 100 catches at low intensity, it means nothing, but 20 catches at high intensity, it makes a big deal.
So do you make the schedule with Ray, or is it given to you?
Ray's probably one of the best fielding coaches, not only in the RPL, but probably in South Africa. So he sits and concocts all these new games and fun games to obviously make it exciting for the guys, and you see they're laughing and they're joking. So it's a lot of fun at the same time, but a lot of high intensity work that's being put in.
I noticed that the players don't tape their fingers or wear gloves when they're taking scratches at practice. Is that a good thing?
Some players do wear gloves, some players do tape. It does give you a sort of false feeling at times, and some players don't like it. So it just really is a player's preference as to what they want to do.
So what's the difference between the tape and the gloves, sir?
Nothing really. It's just it's really a personal preference of the fielder.
And then as far as who's going to bat, do you have a specific format who's going to bat? Do you?
Today in practice?
During practice?
Well, really, as Coach Ray and Venki try and do, they try and format and structure the whole practice around those playing 11 and sort of the squad of 12. And really those guys are the ones that bat, and the fringe players, they really just help as far as throwdowns are concerned, collecting balls and just being a positive background force. But really the focus is on the playing 11 and those guys. And
are Venki's inputs taken in early on the bowling, for the bowling side?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Venki and Ray really work well together. Their energy and I always see them talking and giving each other advice, and I've never picked up for once that they ever contradict each other. And that's really the key about being a head coach and a main assistant coach. is that you always have that communication. I think they've done that really well. Venky's been superb with the bowlers, and Ray, just structure-wise and heading up the whole show for RCB has really been a privilege to work for.
I would assume then that Venky would probably go to the spot, see the bowler's action, see if something's going wrong, and where he's pitching, things like that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. He would obviously be bowling Pacific. You saw him doing drills yesterday. I think you videoed that, where he was seeing where the guys bowled and where the ball's pitched and sort of what areas they were bowling in. And he obviously specifically works with that. And
now I see Evan Speechley, our physio, quite busy when nits are going on. He's usually massaging someone.
yeah.
Tell us a bit about that.
Well, unfortunately, in any high-performance sport or high-level sport, you're always going to have niggles, whether it's soccer or cricket or rugby. So the physio is unfortunately the busiest guy in the team, working from the morning till late at night. So Evan is always busy, but he's one of the best in the game, and RCB are really lucky to have him. But really, from a practice point of view, it's just to iron out a few little niggles that may creep in. But it also gives him time when guys aren't batting or bowling to be able to have some time with them off the field to be working on them.
So really, when we see a player flat on the bench and Evan doing something, it's not necessarily a niggle or an injury. He might just be having a massage.
A lot of it is maintenance. Maybe a niggle that happened 3 weeks ago, and Evan's fixed. The problem is maybe he's just maintaining and just making sure that the player is injury-free for the rest of this IPL and obviously their career.
We saw you giving Gautam, the wicket-keeper, some close catches, some very fast catches.
Yeah.
You even gave him a number. You said catch 50. So tell us a bit about those drills.
It's actually catch 20, and if they drop, they're -2. So if they catch 20 at a right level of international standards, not franchise standards or even provincial standards, but international standards, because if RCB are going to win this, we're going to have international cricketers in that 11. Not necessarily that they've played for South Africa or played for India, but that their standards of international. So the 20 catches he took are high intensity, really fast, really hard, and if he drops them, we go back 2. So if he's dropped 3 or 4, he could end up catching 30-odd catches rather than the 20 initially.
Yeah. Do you also, the kind of bowlers you bring on, whether it's a right-arm bowler, a left-arm spinner, does the coach or do you prefer a certain bowler bowls, certain number of bowlers bowl to a certain batsman? Let's say a batsman you feel is probably not so good against the left-arm spinner. Would you have 2 or 3 of them bowl to him?
Absolutely. And you also, particularly the playing group, you try and package who's bowling at them around what they're going to face. For instance, in Chennai tomorrow, probably Ashwin will open and Bollinger being a left-armer. So you try and package sort of what's being bowled at them against opposition that you're about to play.
Then the warm-ups and the cool-downs, that's a very important component of training, is it not?
Yeah, absolutely. It's crucial. Cricketer who doesn't warm up is bound to get injured during the practice session. So the warm-up and the right intensity of the warm-up is really crucial at practice and in the matches.
So would you say overall, Jono, that the boys have responded well to the coaching or the structure given by you and Ray?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the feedback and being sort of the assistant coach of Venky and Ray, I often get to have more frank chats to the players and really get deep and down with them as far as what their thoughts are and really what they're thinking. And I've heard nothing negative. The guys are really positive. They've really enjoyed the structure that RCB has set up through Ray and Venky, and I've really loved the last 5.5 weeks that we've spent together. And hopefully on the next weekend we can lift the trophy all together.
Well, Jono, thanks for all your inputs, and I'm sure the effort you and Ray have put in, and of course Venky put in behind the players, would pay off very soon.
Pleasure.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks.